Welcome to Search for Signs. My name is Gary Willing. If this information interests you, please press the like and subscribe button and press the bell for notifications. Now, I wanted to tell you a couple stories to help make a point about this message. The first one is Benjamin Creme, at one of the conferences that I attended, he had mentioned a story about a lady that he knew in England who asked him one day if he could make a UFO appear, for her so she could see that they were real or something like that. And I guess he obliged, because he said a few minutes later, here comes this UFO, right? And he said it looked like the sun. It looked like this ball, glowing globe, orange, white, yellow light. He said it was as bright as the sun, but yet it didn't hurt your eyes. And he said this woman was just, of course, in this childlike wonder about it. She's, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. You now made this appear. Oh my gosh, everything you're saying is true. All this stuff, right? She was just going through this, this wonderful, she was having this wonderful experience, right? And in her excitement, she goes running into this hotel that I think they were for this. I guess Benjamin Creme was either giving a lecture or a conference at the time or something like this. I think that's how the story goes. And she goes running into the lobby of this hotel, and she starts telling everybody what she saw. And she was just so excited. Oh my gosh, you're not gonna believe this! I just saw a UFO. I just asked him to make this appear, and just a few minutes later, this big globe. It was the sun. It looked like this. Everything. And Benjamin Creme was standing there, and he said this guy looks up. I guess he was reading the paper or something, and looks up and says to her, "You didn't see a UFO." And looks back down, and it crushed her. It absolutely devastated this lady. And she looked at Benjamin Creme and goes, "I guess I didn't see a UFO," and walks away. And then the other thing I was going to tell you was a funny story about myself, because, again, about these conferences. I used to go see Benjamin Creme at a conference in San Francisco every year. And as a tradition, I used to run across the Golden Gate Bridge. And I remember running one time, and I was wondering how often they paint the thing, right? Because you don't see a lot of rust on the Golden Gate Bridge. It looks pretty new the way they paint it. And I've been running it for years and kind of started questioning this. And I asked a buddy of mine in San Francisco, and he said that, they paint it all the time. They don't really stop painting it. They just keep painting it, Monday through Friday, every day, every week or whatever. And I was talking to a friend of mine who I worked with, and he and I used to, just to get through the day, we used to talk about all sorts of stuff, but anything from movies to what's going on politically, or, the news of the day or whatever. But we would sometimes get into these huge debates, and we didn't mean anything by it. We didn't call each other names, but it got heated sometimes. And this one time, I just mentioned to him about running across the Golden Gate Bridge as much as I did, and that they paint it all the time, right? And he goes, "That's not true. They don't paint it all the time." And I said, "No, that's what this guy said from San Francisco. He said that they actually paint it, and they never stop painting it, right? They just keep painting it. Now they don't paint it 24 hours a day, but they keep painting it, right?" And he looks at me and he goes, "Nah, that's not true, right?" He used to say, "Check your facts." He goes, "Check your facts," right? That used to just annoy the crap out of me. So anyway, I was about to go to San Francisco, I think, the next month. And, of course, as tradition would have it, I ran across the bridge. And this time, I happened to catch a group of these painters. And they had the tarp out there, and they're painting, I guess, the railing or whatever it was. And, of course, there's a guy standing there not doing anything. I guess it's a part of our unions here in the States that somebody has to stand and not do anything. I guess he's a supervisor or whatever. So I just happened to ask him. I said, "Sir, can I ask you a question?" He goes, "Sure." I said, "How often do you guys paint the Golden Gate Bridge?" He goes, "We never stop." I said, "What do you mean you never stop?" He goes, we paint one side, and then once that's done there, we turn around, we paint the other side, and we've been doing it ever since the bridge had opened. We've painted it." I said, "Okay, thank you." And so I couldn't wait to get back to tell my friend this. And I get home, and I said, "Man, you're not going to believe this. I just happened to run into some painters on the Golden Gate Bridge, and they confirmed what my buddy said, that they never stopped painting the Golden Gate Bridge." And he goes, "That's not true." Now, I don't know if he was doing it just to get my goat, but he did get my goat because it really made me mad, right? I'm a lot more detached about things like that today, but at the time I was like, "Ugh," right? My point is, when you share this kind of message, like a lot of us do, and I happen to do it, my outlet happens to be YouTube, right? You know, you get people who hurl a lot of comments and insults my way and so forth, and you can't really let it get to you, which it doesn't. It doesn't bother me at all. And I'm not like that lady who's just gonna, fold her tents and go home. That's just not that's not the way I do things. But it's such an important message from the way I see it. It's very important for me to continue to talk about this until Maitreya is out, more known for who he is. And then I'll probably switch it and start talking about something else, I guess. I won't be talking about him being on TV all the time, right? But the other thing is that you have to rest assured in what you know. And what I know is that Maitreya is who Benjamin Creme says he is. Now, it smacks in the face of a lot of people's beliefs, and I get it. Now, I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything, and I certainly don't go on other people's YouTube channels and tell them how wrong they are. You believe whatever you want to believe, right? I'm just telling you it's for your consideration, really only. And Benjamin Creme used to say that at every lecture. He would say, well, this is just for your consideration, just sharing an idea, right? Just information. That's it. And that's really all it is. Now, I happen to believe in my heart of hearts that it's true. And a lot of it is just the way the information was presented to me by the masters and by Benjamin Creme. It just seems it's like, yeah, that's it, right? So I don't want to come across that I'm trying to contradict people. I'm just sharing my side of the story of things. If you don't like it, I don't know why people would listen to a YouTube channel they don't like. You know what I'm saying? I guess you don't have a hobby, Get a hobby, right? But really, if you decide you want to, like for instance, if you think this information is true at all, right? The best thing to do is to talk to people about it. But talk to people about it in a detached way. Talk to people about it in a way that you're just sharing information, because you're going to get the same reactions that I get from people. And you can't just fold up your tents and go home. If you think in your heart of heart that it's true, then what you need to do is you need to tell people about it. You don't have to necessarily start a YouTube channel, but you can tell people about it in your daily life, your family, your friends, or whatever. But of course, you'll get a lot of really mixed, reactions, of course, right? And a lot of them can be really heated. Now, I have the benefit of having some very specific, dramatic Maitreya experiences that I can kind of rely on. That there's something to this. This is true, right? There's really a lot to this. But people don't know the truth about life. They don't know it. We're still operating off of antiquated information from the Bible and antiquated information scientifically. And it's not, we're always evolving, right? We're always moving forward on some level. And you can't keep looking back to the truths of the past as being a truth of the future. It just doesn't work like that. But people don't know that they don't even know that there is a small group of spiritually enlightened beings called masters that are here to help and guide humanity. And they're coming back out into the world to help us solve our most pressing problems. And they're not going anywhere, but they're also here to help bridge the gap between the two kingdoms, so where more and more humanity will become masters themselves, because that is our divine purpose, to be on this planet, is to become a master. And people don't realize it. And those truths, along with a lot of others, right, will be mainstream ideas, like the Space Brothers, for instance, being a mainstream idea that there's life on other planets, living on higher levels of physicality called the etheric. These are truths that will be more and more known. But right now it's such a esoteric science. It's so hidden that people really get aggravated, to say the least, when you present this information to them, because it's not what they think is real, based on really antiquated information. And it's not that the Bible's antiquated, because the truths of the Bible are talking about the same things. It's the interpretations of the Bible are antiquated. just as scientists' interpretation of what they're seeing in science is antiquated. You see what I'm saying? So hopefully you do. If you don't, you don't, right? But it's just, that's where it really comes into play. So I kind of have a double pronged message to this message here. But if you believe in it on any level, or if you've had any experiences with the masters, please have the fortitude and the courage to share them on your own, in whatever level you want to. And by doing so, you can help aid the masters more and more, because people need to know that the truth, that these masters are here and that they're here to help. People need to know the truth that the Space Brothers are here and they're here to help us, that they're not here to harm us. That's very, very important things that we need to talk about. And that's why these messages, I keep putting these video messages up on YouTube every week. But anyway, just wanted to share my message. And as always, take action. Help SOP save our planet. Thanks for listening, and we look forward to talking to you again in future videos. Have a great day.